Over 500 years ago, this place was named the Cape of Storms by the first European adventurers. For economic reasons, it was later named the Cape of Good Hope, for economic reasons. But what has gone on in South Africa during that 500-year period of time was not very hopeful for many of the people who had lived here. It's been 3 years now after the death of apartheid, and only recently have I been comfortable with the idea of visiting South Africa. For me, this is a journey of discovery, an opportunity to see some of the changes here. I'm Tom Lipinski. I'm a writer and a psychologist. And this is Piketberg, which is about an hour-and-a-half drive north of Cape Town. A few days ago, I left 4 feet of snow and bitter cold on the Canadian prairies to come here and participate in a documentary film on some of the changes taking place in this country. What I want to examine and discover are some of the more subtle changes and efforts made by normal people who've been trying to escape from a pathological history. This story begins at the Noupoort Conference Center and Resort, which is on top of Piketberg Mountain. The beauty and the luxury here struck me as a sharp contrast to the dusty blue-collar atmosphere of Piketberg town. There's a workshop here, a workshop for teenagers, a workshop on chamber music. And this is where some of the changes are taking place. Adolescence is drama in motion. How will these teens handle the added stress of living in these rapidly changing times?
It's what they need. You know, it's what they need at this stage in their life. They're ages 14 to 17. And it's a stage in life where music becomes a part of their identity.
I wonder what role music plays in these students' lives as they search for their identity. What do they need to learn here?
You finally get in touch with what you're actually able to do. You can do so much more. You practice so much more, and you play better.
At this workshop, people discover what it means to really work hard.
It is absolutely amazing what the kids accomplish in 6 days.
And what is to be accomplished in 6 days? Is the final concert the only goal? Or is there something more unique and more broadly satisfying?
To the beginning.
Chamber music has been described as a friendly conversation amongst equals. Is that not the very thing that is needed in this country?
You will see the differences, even the way they started to play their instruments, the change, there's a big change.
Terrible. One, two, three.
You as a teacher, you have a mission. You have to become father sometime or mother to this kid and bring things out, clean them out, because you cannot play music if you have trouble.
It is so important for teens to feel like they belong.
If I go to school and say, I play the cello, they'd be like, oh, that's pathetic, you're a geek.
At school, you feel a bit of a loner, you walk around with your cello, your bassoon, and people look at you, wow, man, that's a big guitar. And no, man, it's a cello.
I was disappointed to see so few students here from other cultures. Kids who probably need this experience and sense of belonging. The situation speaks of a great discrepancy of wealth and opportunity which still exists in this country.
It is open to everybody.
It takes money to study a musical instrument. I'm not sure that my future is as a musician.
Classical is sort of dying out.
There is not so much work in this country for a musician, especially not a classical musician.
Through all this job loss and everything, I have to wonder.
The emphasis is being placed more on the African culture.
As part of the willingness to change, the workshop organizers invited a group of musicians from the University of Cape Town to give a workshop on traditional African music. Only a short time ago, those same musicians would not have been allowed into a concert hall.
As far as I'm concerned, there is no Eurocentric or Afrocentric music. There is music.
Western music was there long before apartheid.
Very long, that type of music had been vilified, had been presented as being barbaric.
It's music of some of the greatest geniuses that we've ever produced, that mankind has ever produced.
But it's the stigma that those guys were the greatest, as if no other greatest people are going to be born.
I am puzzled. Professor Alan Solomon is a third-generation South African. Should his composition, A Song for Strings, be considered part of South African culture? Perhaps it will be the future generations who will make those decisions.
I look at the youth and I just see so much of a vision of the future.
Although it's not exactly looking, sparkling for future.
It's going to get a lot worse than it's going to get better. So the future does not look great at this time, but I think that the responsibility rests with people like Flo, myself, and the people that you see here to start small, live an example, and hope that it will take off.
We've got to accept that South Africa can create its own blend and it can be totally different things. And that's wonderful about South Africa. It's a blend of everything.
Ubuntu is a very important word these days in South Africa. It means to work towards reconciliation. And everyone I've talked to has embraced this idea. And music might be one of the ways they can actually make it work.
We should have done something about this a long time ago.
An hour and a half north of Cape Town, wonderfully isolated on top of Piketberg Mountain, is one of the most unique classical music experiences in all of South Africa. Would 6 days of total immersion into the friendly world of chamber music appeal to you? If so, then apply to attend the annual Noupoort Chamber Music Workshop for young people.
We all come here from different places and things, but we come here with something in common. And that thing in common is quite special, music.
It's the same rhythm as we did in the beginning. So no, I haven't. Oh, then I've got the melody line. Okay. Whoa!
It is a sharing of music. They're not playing alone. They're not doing their thing home in their own room by themselves. They're playing with other people their own age.
And now it rushes again. Let's keep it steady. Once more. And don't push it. Boom, boom, boom.
Every time I come, it's enjoyable, and every time I leave, I'm all inspired for another year.
Yeah, and you can learn something new. Every year you come, learn something new.
Yeah.
And
I can think of quite a few children who, having come here the first time, just took off musically. We've had a few kids in earlier years that have now really settled as soloists and are making names for themselves.
It's a chance to teach these kids how to be musically independent, how to get them to think about their own ideas, what they want out of the music, their own interpretations. I want for solos, accents, and dynamic changes. Very nice, yeah.
It's been wonderful because of the people that we've met and the late night conversations about anything. And also as a pianist, you don't have that much contact with other instruments. A violin can always go to an orchestra, you have lots of contact. And this gives you a chance to actually play with other people, and it's actually an experience of sharing.
get some really campy pictures of me.
One, two, three.
I think people are quite apprehensive when they first come to Noupoort for the workshop, and as it progresses, they feel more comfortable in themselves and with their playing, and also I think they get very inspired by people playing around them.
I'm a kid. I've been all my life a kid, and I understand them incredibly well because I'm still a kid. I hope never lose that. And from the classroom, we can go and play outside. They can treat me equal. If you've seen that, they just hit me with a ball without any problem. I'm one of them.
That was terrible.
There's nothing worse than a high school student having to hide from the rest of his friends that he plays the violin and as a classical musician. But here, amongst the other 20 children, they can open up and be themselves, and by the end, great friends.
And people usually come back here every year,
Yeah.
so you see them every year then.
I learn so much when I come here, and I actually really enjoy playing with chamber music.
and that's what counts for me, because that's probably my career, chamber music.
Feedback from parents is always tremendously positive. They're always very appreciative of all the effort that we put into coaching the kids. The kids have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, the things you get up to here it's you're never thinking about getting up to at home. I mean, at 12:30 at night, you're not at home going to go and come, let's go practice this piece quickly, or let's like read through this and
watch movies rather than practice.
Yeah, I mean, it's mad things that happen here, but that's so wonderful about it.
Noupoort is just a great thing to do. It will inspire you, it will improve your self-esteem as well as your technical skill, and I think everything about it is worthwhile. And the teachers are great, they really care, and that's what's important.
There are some very, very fine musicians in this country, and I think the challenge for us as musicians in this country is to open it up wide and encourage all people from all sectors of the population to discover, learn to appreciate these works of great genius.
Noupoort is just a great thing to do.
If what you've seen here is stimulating and you find the idea of joining this event exciting, then please contact the Noupoort Guest Farm and Conference Center for further information.